Hey y'all, welcome back to the Nancy News Show. Tonight we're diving deep into something that hits every human being at some point. Accountability, radical acceptance, and also what it means to live a life that aligns with your values. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're also going to talk about God's expectations, our own expectations of ourselves, and art of standing tall in a world that sometimes seems designed to knock us down. You guys know how that feels? Knock us down. You know, like, bro, why are you doing this to me? Why is life? Why do I got to be so resilient so many times and so fast and so hard? It's just it's hard, right? Well, let me tell you straight. Radical acceptance. We're going to start with that, okay? It's pretty cool. Just stay with me. Bear with me. Radical acceptance is really cool about accepting stuff in life. And it's really hard, but it can be really easy if you understand it. And I didn't even know about it until I looked on Google. I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole steps for this. And on YouTube, there's videos on everything. So radical acceptance is not about passive resignation or like pretending everything's fine. You can't pretend it, right? So it's about acknowledging reality fully, being in reality fully and acknowledging it even when it hurts. And making choices also from a place of clarity, sanity, normality, rather than resistance. Because when you don't accept everything, you're resisting something, right? You don't want to think about it. You don't accept it. You're resisting something. Combined with that, accountability, which is growth and growing in emotional intelligence, as well as also in self-awareness. And that is also growing in your emotional intelligence as well, which is what we want to do. And you start navigating life with strength instead of chaos. And chaos is toxic. And we want to be emotionally intelligent and sound mind and not toxic. And we want to break those generational cycles, you know. So, and yes, I'm going to show you how to recognize gaslighting when it happens, protect your mental and emotional space, and find humor along the way. Because you know what? Humor keeps us going. It keeps us resilient. It keeps us getting back up again. And that's the good part. So radical acceptance is a practice of fully acknowledging reality. Think about it. Fully acknowledging reality without judgment, denial, which is what we do a lot if we think about it, we're self-aware, or wishing it were different, which sometimes you can dissociate from this stuff. It just happens. We can't always control how our mind takes us when we've been through a lot and hurt a lot. And it's hard because human nature resists that discomfort, uncertainty, and failure. But without it, we waste energy fighting things we just can't even change, like things in the past. So I'm going to tell you a story. Once I met a man. His name was David Blaine, and who had lost a business he loved, and not the celebrity, don't worry. He loved due to unforeseen circumstances. For months, he raged and cried and blamed everyone around him, which is one thing we don't want to do, is not blame everyone around us, because we want to take accountability. One morning after reading a passage I told him to read in Romans in the Bible, after surrendering burdens to God, he tried radical acceptance. And remember what that is? It's the practice of fully acknowledging reality without judgment, even a judgment on others or yourself included, denial, or wishing it were different. He didn't have to like what happened. You don't have to like what happened. He didn't have to approve of what happened. He simply acknowledged, and acknowledge is just saying, okay, this happened and it did, and there's nothing I can do about it. It is discomfort. to think about, but I'm going to accept it so I don't feel this discomfort. And asked himself, what's next? That's resilience, getting back up. That small shift change had transformed his despair into action and clarity, and I was able to help. And that meant a lot to me. Now, here's a little humor cue, because we got to have that humor in there, right? To bounce back up. Radical acceptance does not mean you stop being human. Now, David, he also laughed one morning when he spilled coffee on his laptop while meditating, okay? While meditating, come on, you don't want coffee spilled on you and burning all over you. But life is absurd. Accept it and then clean up the mess, okay? It can be exhausting, but we can do it, okay? That's the thing. We got to find that strength in our gut is what I always say. Find that strength in our gut, that fire, and then keep on getting back up. Now, radical acceptance frees mental space as well. And when you stop fighting reality and accept it, you stop being trapped in resentment and fear, which lowers anxiety and depression. It's really cool. You can focus on solutions, personal growth, spiritual alignment, and anything you actually want to do in life that's stopping you right now with this kind of mental and emotional problem that is weighing you down, that you might have to see a doctor for, you might have PTSD for, you might be diagnosed, who knows, or you didn't go to a doctor and you're like, why am I having so many issues keeping a job? Why am I having so many issues? The same cycle pattern happens where everything bad happens and I don't know why, and it doesn't stop. So many people wonder what God expects from them and what they should expect from themselves. Spoiler alert, it's not perfection. Thank God, okay? God's expectation is integrity, love and loving yourself, compassion, also this loving and compassion with others and yourself, and accountability, living aligned with your values and acknowledging when you're wrong and owning it are central to this. And it takes strength sometimes to do that, you know? So accountability doesn't mean self-flagellation. You can joke about certain things and include a dramatic bow, whatever your over-the-top personality wants to do, like a Shakespearean actor or actress. Because, hey, sincerity can also be entertaining. Hey. So that's the good part. You know, you can also add that humor in when you have a problem being resilient, because it takes away all the bad sometimes. And expecting too much of yourself. Listen, this observation I realized. Expecting too much of yourself or others creates unnecessary guilt and resentment towards yourself and others. So what God asked for us and what we should ask of ourselves is honesty, effort, and humility, not a flawless record. Come on now. We are not superhuman beings. We are not superwoman. We are not superman. We are human. Self-expectations should be balanced with self-compassion, though. Recognizing that mistakes are also opportunity for growth. When it gets too hard, there are opportunities for growth, honey bunnies, okay? Accountability now, how to own your own actions we're going to talk about. Accountability is about recognizing when you're wrong, even saying it out loud, even making amends when needed, and changing your behavior, then moving forward. Most liberating practices because it's liberating because it requires humility, courage, and emotional maturity. Accountability doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong. Trust me. It's strong enough to face your own truth, own your own part, and protect your integrity. And a lot of people respect this stuff, and you should respect it within yourself to be that person. Gain that strength inside of you. It also strengthens relationships because people trust honesty more than perfection. Trust me, it's true. Now we're going to recognize how to recognize and defending against gaslighting. Because, you know, those narcissists out there. Come on now. Preach, right? Okay, so gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into doubting your perception, your memory, or reality. It's subtle, insidious, and damaging. And you don't always notice it at first. Recognizing it is the first step, and then protecting yourself is the second step. I had a friend named Mary. She noticed her partner frequently dismissed her feelings. Then he rewrote past events in ways that left her doubting herself. You should not be doubting yourself. That's going to be gaslighting. She started documenting conversations, just writing down, journaling it, trusting her instincts as well. Looking back at that journal and being like, okay, wait a minute here. And asserting boundaries is huge. And also remember, no is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. When she calmly said, I remember it differently and my feelings are valid to her partner, he had no room to continue the manipulation. He tried, but it didn't work because she knew her own. She knew what she stood for and she knew the truth. Documenting that also helps to go back and be like, okay, I was right. I didn't lie. I did not. This narrative that you're giving me is not what really happened. So, a humor cue. Sometimes gaslighting is ridiculous. I once watched someone argue that a text message never happened when it literally was on the dang phone screen. Come on now. Come on. Now, I laughed, showing that humor can be shielded without minimizing the seriousness of manipulation. And a reflection with this would be protecting yourself requires clarity, being like sound mind, understanding, confidence, whatever you have to do to understanding, journal, keep notes of it, whatever. Sometimes it's hard to understand when the people are doing this. Confidence, believe in yourself and what you know. Trusting your gut is always never lies to you. Self-trust. Radical acceptance, accountability, and awareness are tools that make gaslighting ineffective, though. That's the key. When you trust your perception and set boundaries, manipulation loses its power. Yay, that's what we want. Now, we're going to wrap it all together. Practical self-help tips, okay? Ready? Ready? Okay, so standing tall, forgiving yourself, and navigating life with integrity isn't theoretical. It is practical. It is smart, and it helps you out, okay? Start each day with a reflection. Ask, where can I practice accountability today? Where can I accept what I cannot change? What I cannot change? Use grounding techniques, which means notice your breathing. Feel it, and feel your feet on the floor. Touch objects around you to stay present. Now, what I do is I do this with my hand, and I feel what I feel, and I say it in my head. What does it feel like? It feels like skin. It kind of feels rough. My finger's so rough because I work a lot. And then I feel my shirt. I smell. What do I breathe? Oh, I breathe that apple pie airwick. That's good. Okay. Like just grounding techniques to stay present is what it does. And presence is armor. It is your shield against mental chaos, just by the way. Journal your experiences, like I said. Write honestly about moments you were wrong, moments you resisted, and moments you succeeded in staying true to yourself. And always give yourself a pat on the freaking back for when you do good and reward yourself. Humor is very healing. Don't underestimate, though, that laughing at your own ridiculousness and human flaws or absurd situations are just stupid. It strengthens resilience. And then music is always very uplifting for me for some reason, right? So music, clips, and videos, and a perspective, reflective moments with uplifting music or short relatable clips, a child saying something profound or cute or just like absurd and just like, wow, you're just a smart kid, you're so little. A comedian's absurd observation, a nature video that reminds you of life's unpredictability. It reinforces attention and connection. It's like almost like a grounding technique too. So God expects honesty, integrity, and effort. We should expect patience, compassion, and self-respect from ourselves. Always set boundaries with people that try to gaslight you or be manipulative. Always recognize when they're lying and trying to lie about you, their reality of what happened with you, and take note of it if you have to. It doesn't matter if you think that's because you're moving slow. I don't care. Okay. Take a journal, write it down, know the truth of what really happened, because your gut also will never lie to you. Radical acceptance, accountability, and confidence shield us from manipulation, free ourselves from self-judgment, and allow us to live fully. Stand tall. Forgive yourself for not knowing any better. Forgive yourself always. Be compassionate with yourself is huge. Protect your peace. Trust your own perception. And remember, life is messy, hilarious, and sacred, and handle it unfiltered. Learn again when you come back to the Nightly Nancy News Show, okay? I'm going to have another episode on here, and it's going to be actually about zodiac signs, star signs, and the people we actually are. It's kind of cool if you're into that stuff. But yeah, definitely join us again on the Nightly Nancy News Show. And I'll see y'all next time. And don't forget to join our Facebook page. There's a raffle ticket on there. I will put the link in the comments for you to join the Facebook page. And don't forget about our raffle because we have a nonprofit helping us out. So definitely join that raffle to see if you can win. I'm waiting for enough people to sign up. See y'all next time. Later.